Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Libra, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page. I thank you so much in advance. I want to do these readings today with a really beautiful new deck that I got. Two new decks that I got. This one's called the Rose Oracle, and you're reading today with the Tarot Landscapes. So let's get the overall energy for Libra. I hope you're doing well, Libra. Palo Santo has been burned. Cards have been pre-shuffled. Here we go. Libra, you got release the petals, transformation, death and rebirth, shedding, all change. And isn't that so apropos for the season of eclipses and change that we find ourselves in, at least at the time of this reading? Though tarot is timeless, I have to mention the conditions under which I'm reading right now, and there are a lot of things that are about to go into orbit around this planet, and it's going to heavily affect our energy. I think it's already affecting a lot of people. So this release of the petals, you know, when we release flower petals, it kind of can suggest a lot of things. Sometimes we see this in a parade. I see somebody standing on top of like a float, like in the Macy's Thanksgiving parade, and like you see these really ornate, intricate displays made out of flowers, and I can just see like petals falling. We also throw petals at weddings and other beautiful events like that. So it's almost this gesture of release, but for you it feels very celebratory. The word towards the end here is shedding. So I just saw a video on Instagram this morning I thought was very interesting, which I didn't understand before, which I suppose, according to this video, there's some Kabbalistic teachings that say that if you haven't worn pieces of clothing that are in your closet for a year or so, that you should absolutely donate them, give them away. Because it's this idea that God, Spirit, the universe, however you identify, higher power in your life, gives us exactly what we need. And if we no longer need to use it for the purpose it was meant for, so if it's just taking up space, then it takes up space where the universe can provide other things to supplement. It's because you already have a certain amount, it's almost as if the universe doesn't think you need anything else or anything more, because you are in possession of the things that were required at the time that they came into your life. So this idea of shedding makes me think of that video. It can have to do with clothing, or it can have to do with memories, feelings, people. So, you know, absolutely hearkening back to the Death card in the Major Arcana, the idea of shedding all the old to have this rebirth. And so that's a very powerful energy for you right now, Libra. So I'm going to pull 4 cards for the base spread, 4 cards for clarifier, past, present, and future. And we'll see what we can see. I never choose the cards. I let them jump out of the pack. I always pick up the cards with my right hand first if I'm able to. It's kind of a way that I read tarot. It's like a deal that I have with Spirit. I might show you with my left hand, but I always touch the card with my right hand first. So all 8 cards are out, and this first card I'm about to show you came out for so many people, so many signs in this series already. The past energy is the King of Cups. I mean, at least 4 or 5 signs already got this particular card, and some in this past position. So it may be a collective thing that we are understanding that in the past energy we achieved some kind of emotional balance. The King of Cups is also a Scorpio card, much like the Death card. But the King of Cups represents a divine masculine energy. Doesn't have to talk about a man, but just an energy that is very emotionally mature. And now my ear is ringing. Well, not ringing, it's tunneling. And now I hear the sirens, right? I've been sitting at my desk for 10 minutes. No sirens went by. So I don't take anything for granted when I read tarot. It's a message that Spirit really wants to direct you to, which is that it's almost, I didn't see this for the other signs, but for you, I see the octopus kind of floating up to the surface of the water near the light source. So it's this rising of your energy, your awareness, your ability to self-regulate is what I just heard. Interesting. Self-regulation of emotions is one of the greatest superpowers, at least for a water sign too. It's very difficult. Like, I think with emotions first, whereas Libra, you may think with rational thought. I'm not going to say every Libra every time, but Libras think with the mind, and somebody like me, Cancer, thinks more with the heart. Neither is better or worse, but for me to have self-regulation with my emotions, it takes twice as much energy. But for you, maybe there were some unresolved issues. I feel there was something, you know, their trigger, everyone has a trigger point, but I feel as though in your past energy, you are identifying what that trigger is. And so it may still trigger you, but the way that you respond outwardly could be a little different. Instead of maybe being passive aggressive, you might just be like, you know, hey, that really kind of hurt what you said. I don't appreciate it. You know, and like cut it off at the pass, and that person, give that person a chance to say, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. Like, I didn't mean to offend. Whatever, right? That's just an example. But the King of Cups is very mature in that sense. And you got this card in the upright. And it's clarified by the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands in the upright talks about working through our challenges and releasing them. Ten of Wands is releasing burden. It's carrying that burden for so long and then realizing, I really don't need to hold on to this anymore. I can really let this go. I have a long journey ahead. Journey of discovery, a journey of growth, as we all do. And wouldn't that journey be easier if the load was a little lighter? So it's really positive past energy that you have here. In the present energy, what's going on? Queen of Pentacles. I find this card very interesting because the Queen is represented by this beautiful mama bear energy. Mama bear. I don't know why, but because this card has come out a couple times, it feels a little melancholy. And the reason why is because the foliage speaks of autumn. It speaks of the fall. At least in the United States, in the fall, the trees turn colors. And it's almost as if this bear is kind of understanding that they're about to go into this hibernation period. and kind of reveling in the last few months until that happens. Like really just enjoying where you are is what I see. Like this mama bear enjoying where they are. Queen of Pentacles talks about somebody who is, you know, the power behind the throne, behind the king. Very abundant, beautiful, sound, grounded. Makes me think of Taurus energy very strongly. Just somebody who has a good head on their shoulders and is also very generous. There's lots of, it feels like lush and abundant, right? The trees still have, I mean, there's a couple here that are starting to go, but they still have color on them. So there's lots of abundance around you in the present moment, but it's almost as if you're not really thinking about the future more than you have to. Does that make sense? It's like, and for a Libra, that's not, I feel as though that may be a little atypical, because I feel like Libras kind of think 10 steps ahead. But with the Page of Swords in the reverse, it's almost as if there's no curiosity about that at this time. That's not neither good nor bad. It's good to stay in the present moment, right? It's good to plan so that we can minimize stress in the future if it's what we're planning on is very involved and intricate. But we think too much in the future, then we forget to live in the present. And I don't see that happening for you right now. I want to say that you're purposefully challenging yourself to stay in the present moment, because this normally is a card of curiosity, but with this particular depiction, you know, this bird is flying into the part of a lightning storm. Not the best, wisest move for a bird, and yet the nature of the card, curiosity and learning, would, I almost hear curiosity killed the cat, right? Because it's just like, why on earth would you kind of choose to take off and fly in conditions like this? And so I feel like you're averting that situation. I'm actually going to pull a clarifier for the Page of Swords in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles. You got Judgment. Number 20, Major Arcana. And you see here this beautiful kind of, I believe it's a fox. Could be a wolf, but it kind of has a pointier face. It kind of feels like a fox. Just a wise fox, a knowing, familiar, a representation of this great wisdom of nature kind of coming down to inform life here on earth for you. The Judgment card talks about looking at the path, or finally seeing, getting a glimpse of the path that you were meant to take, like a life's blueprint. It's always interesting to kind of describe the Judgment card. In a typical or common depiction of the Judgment card, the Archangel comes down. Thank you, Spirit. Okay, so they want me to show you what that looks like. Okay, Spirit, got it. Let's see. Here, let me get this one. I'm gonna show you a depiction. This is the Morgan Greer Tarot. So just bear with me one moment Libra while I find the Judgment card. So, oh, see, this is slightly different depiction, but it's okay. It kind of gets the point across. So this is the Judgment card in this depiction. Really highlights this, what's happening here, which is this idea of perhaps bringing something back from the dead, the past, resurrecting an issue from the past. But for you, I almost see it as your deep past, your past lives. And then there's this great horn that is blowing from the archangels to say, are you listening, Libra? Can you hear us? Can you hear yourself? Can you hear your higher self? Kind of being asked to speak directly to the higher self. Speak directly to the archangels, to the universe, the vast, wide universe. Is it something that might interest you to know that you have a life blueprint, that we are all here to fulfill a beautiful soul destiny? How we get there is absolutely our choice, and whether we do it at all is our choice. That's why it's the Judgment. You make the call. You make the judgment. But it's, if you can quiet the mind, if you can quiet the heart, if you can really understand what your soul is crying out to do, what you're meant to do in this life, whether it's be a healer or an artist or someone who volunteers their time, someone who rises to the top, whatever it is, whatever you're meant to do, whatever to lead others, this is what you're looking at right now. It's really beautiful energy, but it does require your active participation, at least from a spiritual, intellectual sense. In the future energy, Queen of Wands. That's the second queen you've gotten in the upright. It's beautiful energy. And will have you notice that within the root system here is a sleeping fox, right? So I reference that as a fox. So in the future energy, it's almost like I see you drawing down Spirit's message and then having planted that seed within your mind, your heart, your material world, and then watching that grow. Right? So Queen of Wands is really beautiful, works from the solar plexus chakra, really taps into her intuition, her gut, her is a divine feminine energy, but really working with the fiery energy, the thing that motivates you. Right? This is a very interesting depiction of the Queen of Wands because it's almost like maybe this is what is this great big beautiful tree is what is being represented to the world. So this one kind of facade that faces the world, but all the while understanding that you have to care for what is underneath the surface. It's clarified by the Eight of Wands in the reverse, another fire energy. Eight of Wands talks about fast action and fast communication, very clear messaging, but you have this card in the reverse. You can see a toad here kind of looking up, awestruck. You have this in reverse. So in the future energy, there is a little bit of a delay on some messaging or some action that you were hoping to take, right? So you're feeling confident and abundant, but the path to displaying that to the world may be a little slow going. Let me ask for a clarifier on what that is a Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So this is the Nine of Pentacles in the upright. You can see a tiny little sparrow or something sitting on this branch, this doorway. Nine of Pentacles is very abundant, singular, independent energy. So if we've set out on a path, we're kind of doing it on our own. In the reverse, it's kind of telling me that this beautiful expression of yourself may require participation from others, a partner, a friend, your community. Like maybe it will be your friendship circle that will help you to rise up. It's almost like to inhabit fully your Queen of Wands energy, you lean on the support of your friends or your family, which is perfectly fine. But it's almost like, okay, I see a particular scenario here. It might take some time to convince people of your like master plan. It may, and you know, we don't have to convince anybody of anything. We can just do what we want to do. But this matters to you. You want to get people on board. So it may take a little bit of time and effort to bring them to an understanding of the ways in which they can help you. So, you know, maybe you have a lot of support around you, but people don't know how they can contribute, how they can help. So maybe it's about you expressing yourself to them, of what your plans are. What is the advice from Spirit? You have two major arcana from Spirit. The Hermit card in the reverse and the World in the upright. Hermit card is number 11. This is Virgo energy. You may have Virgo in prominent placements in your chart. Virgo energy in the Hermit talks about, again, singular energy, but it's more spiritual, emotional, internal. It's going through a dark night of the soul. It's looking deeply at our past woundings, and it's deep healing. But the card in the reverse suggests to me that you've already gone through that state. And you're coming out of hermitude. You're coming out of that hermit state, wanting to rejoin society again. And Spirit is saying now is the perfect opportunity of closing out chapters, right? This reading is all about chapters closing and new chapters beginning. And so it's really poignant that the World card came out as your last card, because that's precisely what you're doing. That I don't feel like there's anything too lingery. There's like not a lot of lingering energy, and especially because Release the Petals came in the beginning. You already understand what it is that you have to release. And that's half the battle. That's half the battle. So that's your reading, Libra. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Libra.